Time to flip our attention now to the Valparaiso women coming off a 13-19 season, 9-11 in the Missouri Valley, 8th overall, got knocked out by Bradley in the opening round of the tournament, and we got a coaching change. Mary Evans' tenure coming to a close, and welcome in to the Courtney Boyd era.
That is my favorite photograph right there. If you want to know Courtney Boyd, that photo it's amazing. I saw that when they put it up, and I just said, put it in the Louvre. Like, what a great, you've got Raven in the back. Someone must have, I'm guessing somebody hit a shot late in a drill or something like that. And I can just see that she's going to blow the whistle and pump her fist. She is all energy all the time.
I've looked at that photo, and there's no caption with it, but it's like, I feel like you could caption it any of 20 different ways.
Yes.
All 20 ways are all awesome. Like that, whatever she happened to be doing. She takes over a program that has one winning season in the last 16 years. And when we talked back in April, when she was hired, the main message and the main selling point for her and her staff trying to put together a roster was, we're selling opportunity here. 6 months later, how has the opportunity filled the cabinet?
I can't wait to watch this unfold. And it might not be pretty. They're dealing with a couple injuries right now. Macy Rhodes, the senior, is kind of inching her way back. She might not play. We'll see. She had a surgery, like a hip surgery. Nuala Connolly, an incoming freshman, it looks like she's got an ankle or something like that. I think she had surgery. Raven is still coming back from a torn Achilles, so they're banged up a little bit. But man, are their practices high energy? They are fun. I have spent a good amount of time around Courtney, just away from basketball and just getting to know her a little bit about her philosophy. And she is not looking for a one-year fix. She is looking to build a culture. And she has been very, very pointed about, I want to find people that want to become part of that culture and set the standard. And she has been very clear, and I know you had her on the show. She has been very clear about saying something. And I at first I didn't really understand this, but the more I thought about it, it makes sense. She said at the end of the game, if we're up by 25 or we're down by 25, if you look at our bench, you shouldn't see a difference in the way that we carry ourselves. We're going to give it our all every single night, win, lose, or draw. Right. She's brought in a handful of new players, a lot of freshmen, some that she knew, some that she didn't know. Jeff, it's an interesting approach because she's got a couple D1 transfers that maybe did not have success at their previous stops, albeit having very impressive resumes coming in. And then NAIA and D2 and D3 players. You look at individually and like, is this a recipe for success? No.
But she knows as well as anybody, coaching at those levels, there are dudes.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm on one hand, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go. And on the other hand, I'm like, she's going to do it. Like, she's going to, like, you gave her the keys. You got to let her drive the car. And I think she's a good driver. And I can't wait to watch this unfold. The players are adoring the process right now. Like, the vibes around the team, they're great. And I can't wait to watch it unfold. I think it could be a tough year, but I will be there for as much of every step of the way as I can. The schedule doesn't do any favors. There's a lot of crossover between the men's and women's and stuff like that. Like, the season opener is at DePaul. The men play the same day.
Sure.
Then they go to Detroit Mercy. And then, Valpo football's got a game that day. They go to Iowa State. They go to they do have a double header with more. They don't play a lot of home games, right? They really don't. And part of that is, baptism by fire on the road. And the staff is fantastic. There's some great personalities there. I think at the end of the year, the record might not be great, but the experience, I think, is going to be a wild ride.
When we talk about the departures off last year, aside from a head coach, you lose your top 4 scorers, led by Leah Ernest, who is on a short list of best players to ever walk the halls there at Valpo. Nevaeh Jackson as well. She goes to Butler with her sister Tsanaya, which I just realized this morning, their brother Jalen goes to Butler too. Maybe shouldn't have been surprised. That was ultimately the landing spot. But especially somebody like Leah, who just did everything, and you have sung her praises for the years that we have spoken about her. What are the intangibles? Forget all the on the court stuff. What's the intangible stuff that like new coaching staff? But boy, just such an impactful centerpiece to that program for the last.
Yeah, I mean, she'll be missed without question. She was actually on the staff for a little bit. She went through spring workouts with the team as a grad assistant, and was back for the summer for a little bit before she got an opportunity she couldn't turn down as an assistant coach at Wisconsin Stevens Point. She's from Stevens Point. She's got her family is all there and everything, and Jeff, that was a tough one for me to watch her leave. She designed the logo for the Victory Bell as well, and we've said all the good things, but I think if you're going to look at it from a positive standpoint, like, you don't now have someone who is kind of telling you how things used to be.
Right.
And so this group now can move forward. They really, with the exception of Kayla Preston, there's nobody on the roster who's been on the roster for more than, one season. And so, I mean, Raven and Kayla Preston are the two that were here. They're juniors now. Everybody else was new last year and new this year. And so it really is, a fresh approach. Looking forward to a jump up from Kylie Watashik, I think is how you say her name. I think she has a kid who showed some flashes last year. She has the ability to knock down some shots. She's longer. She's 6'2". She can park herself in the corner and knock down some shots. She can also be aggressive and get to the basket. And I think having other size around with Milana Nenedick and Cameron Winich, Cameron Winch, this is going to allow some more size to play. And that, Jeff, will be the biggest difference for Valpo basketball. Is Mary Evans came from a philosophy of you shoot threes or you score right at the basket, but she wanted more people shooting threes. She didn't want mid-range, and she didn't really want a back to the basket center. That's gone now. And so I think you're going to see a different kind of approach, and maybe Valpo work the ball inside a little bit more. And it'll just look different. The product is going to look different just from a sheer offensive philosophy.
Talk about the 4 leading scorers gone. It's sort of almost a welcome, an embarrassment of down the board riches for Courtney Boyd, in the fact that you return the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th, 11th, and 12th leading scorers from last year. That so many times you see coaches come in, it's like, all right, I got to go find 15 new kids, but at least there's a nucleus, and your point, maybe not having been there all of them for that long, and she can mold them. You're not trying to break habits, but that's got to be helpful for Coach Boyd. And the second part, I guess, also, you said Macy Rhodes dealing with an injury. Don't know what her status will be. Raven Ray Redmond, who tore her Achilles last year. What is the prognosis for her? And Achilles, look, at this point, that's a year before you're able to get back. And then are you even really at 100% until maybe the year after that? A lot of questions at once. Feel free to answer what you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, Raven, first of all, is one of the most, she is worth the price of admission. Like, I've said this about Raven, and she'll steal the ball and then, pass it ahead to a teammate, but Raven moves at a speed that few other people move at. And so that pass is going somewhere else sometimes. But what she brings to the court, it really hurt when she was injured last year, and it happened the final game of the non-conference. She's standing at the top of the key, going to make a dribble and move against Detroit, and she just crumples to the ground. And everyone knew immediately what it was. It was viscerally a really, really hard moment to see. She's running, she's back. I mean, she's moving, but she's doing a lot of stuff on the bike during practices. So I don't think she's been, I haven't not seen her do 5-on-5s or anything like that. Fiona Conley is going to be the leader of this team. She's a senior, transfer from LaSalle a year ago. Great kid. Kind of was in and out of the starting lineup at times last year. And I think she'll definitely be a centerpiece of the team. One of the other players I think is really interesting, and this is something that I think from one of the newcomers' perspectives, the first recruit that Courtney went out and got was Michaela Huffine, who played for her at Quincy. And she basically said, Michaela, I'm not really sure if there's playing time here, but I need you in the locker room because I need you to let them know what a Courtney Boyd coached team, how they act in the locker room. And Michaela has been phenomenal. She's a senior leader on the team, and she's been great. And then you mentioned Kayla Sullivan back there. There might not be a player on the team that I'm more intrigued to see than Kayla Sullivan. She's got length, she's got size, she's got the ability to mix it up and go grab some hard rebounds.
JUCO All-American too.
Yeah, she can finish at the basket. Yeah. Her faith is incredibly important to her. This being a Lutheran school, and Kayla is more than just a basketball player around here, and she's going to be fun to kind of see. There's some interesting stories on this team, and I don't know that they're going to compete. I mean, Courtney has said this, like I don't know that we're going to compete for a conference title this year.
Yeah,
Jeff, I don't know how many wins they're going to have this year. I don't know where the wins are going to come from, but the process is going to be interesting to watch. I can't wait. I'm probably more excited to watch this team grow together than I am to watch the depth of the men's basketball. Those are the two big storylines. The depth of the men's basketball team, does it translate? And the growth of the women's basketball team. Those are the two big storylines surrounding Valpo. And I can't wait to see. No one's going to be picking either one of these teams to do anything this year. I'm honored that I get the chance to be there for the journey.
8 of their first 9 games away from home, only 3 non-conference games at the Arc. But again, this didn't become a suicide mission in terms of a schedule. When you look at least last year's net ratings, 8 of the 11 teams they're going to face were Q4 games a year ago. You're going to go to Iowa State. You go to Cleveland State. There was a quad to DePaul as well. So it's again, all the new, especially at the top with the head coach, it feels manageable, which almost it has to be if you're just never going to play at home. You just can't kill your kids and then be sleeping out of hotels, in hotel beds for 2 months.
So Dale Linderwell is the coach that came in. He has worked as a volunteer assistant for Courtney for like almost close to a decade at different spots. And I know that she was thrilled to be able to get him a spot at Valpo. And Dale is, the guy, he's just fun, like they're doing 6 a.m. workouts and he's just destroying everybody when they're doing these mile runs and everything. But he's the one in charge of scheduling, and he came in and he just said, all right, this is what we got in front of us. There are a couple of contracts I already had signed, but this could be a tough year. But guess what? They can get a lot of return games next year.
Right.
So maybe in year 2, now you got more home games and you build toward that a little bit. And so they got a good tournament at Cleveland State. Cleveland State's a team they've got some history with in the Horizon League, playing a couple teams there. Again, you get DePaul, you get Iowa State, you get some money infused in your program a little bit, which, let's be honest, that's what it's all about at this point, like to try to build the coffers a little bit. The schedule is going to be tough. I can't wait to see the conference schedule and see how that shakes out, because can they get like 5 of their first 7 at home, please, in the conference schedule, so they can, I guess we'll see how that unfolds. I'm sure that's coming some month at some point. We'll see when that is.
We'll see. I guess technically we don't need it till Christmas, so they've got.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They've got a little bit of time.